thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so nice to see you. So, you girls were like, you were a group of friends, right? And you were all in the course. So Matab, Omniyat, who else?
There was Wad and there was Rima, Ritaj, but they're not answering.
Oh, that's okay. Rima and Ritesh were also here. Okay, that's amazing. So ladies, oh my God, girls, I shouldn't say ladies, you're girls still very young, right? How old are you? Like 14, right? 13?
16.
16.
Okay, 16, that's right. So how was it? You took the exam just last week and you're done. How does it feel? How was the exam?
It feels amazing. It's an accomplishment.
Big accomplishment.
It just feels like we didn't do anything at some point. We just feel we didn't even start IDs. We didn't just do anything.
Wow, 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 wow. And I do know that you did amazing in papers 4, 6, and 2. So we're expecting very high achieving scores.
Inshallah.
Yes, but really scores. That's really, really good. So I really want, I mean, the purpose, you guys know the purpose of this video is to just motivate new students, tell them the secrets of success, tell them what to do, give them ideas. I mean, I got so many great ideas from the other interviews. So that's really the purpose here, is to learn from you guys. I mean, I want to know what you did, because you guys did really, really well in the course. Now I want to let viewers know that Omniyat, Matab, and also Ritej and Reem and all the other group did really, really well, start to finish, like from day 1 to the last day of the exams. The course was 9 months, pretty long, but you stayed on it, and you were pretty persistent and consistent the whole year. So what's your secret?
Okay, so basically the first thing I say is that they don't panic at the beginning of the course, because this is something all of us do, like just panic and be like, we have a lot of things to do with the course, the homework, and just start panicking over a lot of things. So first of all, they need to relax and they need to know that you miss all the group, all the teams, Habiba, Miss Dina, all of you guys are just there to help them. So they don't need to be shy when they ask for questions, because this is something I used to do myself. And then I didn't like asking a lot of questions. But then in the end, I discovered it's like one of the keys which helped me to success. Like I ask questions, I understand, and then I help others with it. So they don't need to be much shy about asking questions and stuff.
Yeah, so Matab, I actually have to say to viewers, Matab was constantly, she always had her camera on the as well as Omniyat. You guys had your camera on in the class. You asked questions. You didn't hesitate. You unmuted, Miss, I have a question, and you ask. So that's really good. And I like the advice of do not panic at the beginning of the year, because guess what? That's the biggest thing that I face as a teacher at the beginning of the year, is that students are freaking out. They're freaking out. And I keep saying, guys, relax. It's fine. You're going to be okay. You're going to get used to it. You're going to be fine. But I keep saying it, but nobody believes me. Like, I'm really glad it came from a student, because don't panic. So now, Omniyat, what advice do you want to give new students?
The biggest advice I would like them to follow is discipline. You need to set a schedule. You need to hold yourself accountable. Set, let's say, a certain amount of papers or a certain chapters you would like to revise per week. Sit down and eliminate all distractions. Somewhere quiet, somewhere comfortable, maybe get a snack to help you stay motivated. But whatever you do, please do not overwork yourself.
Yeah, that's very.
You need to give yourself breaks. I struggled with this, and I would I would pull all-nighters to study and solve homeworks, then go to school. I would not be able to concentrate during class. To the point that for the first time, some of my teachers did complain that I slept through a couple of classes. So this was awful.
Actually, I'm not surprised at all. I'll tell you why. Because I noticed that you guys are about 10 hours ahead of me. So I noticed that sometimes I would get a homework submission from you at 4 p.m. my time, which is midnight your time. No, even 2 a.m., 2 a.m. your time. And I'm like, it's 2 a.m. in Omniyat's time. How is she up until now? And you're like I can see you online on WhatsApp, and I get a submission, I get a homework from you at this time, and it's complete and beautifully written and beautifully done and all like, and my homework is huge. So yes, I did notice that I used to get homework. So our class was Monday and Thursday. So I used to get the homework Thursday night. So after the class, Omniyat would just sit down, finish my homework and submit it, even if it's 2 a.m. her time. So that was like, oh my God, someone is up at this time. Someone is submitting a homework. And so it was, but you said something really, really important. You said discipline. You have to have a schedule. No distractions. I love this. And then take care of yourself, take breaks. These 3 points. I mean, they should be taught to students. That's really important. Discipline. I like this. But yeah, go ahead.
But by the end of the course, I was unfortunately really burned out, and I couldn't bring myself to open a book and study. And so I end up feeling really nervous at the day of the exam, but thankfully it went really well.
Yes, I mean, I could tell that. I feel like it was March when I felt like, where's Omniyat? Like, I feel like, where's she? Like, she disappeared. Like, where's her homework and her submissions? And that I could tell. So looking back now, it's okay. You did well, and you survived the year, and you're gonna do amazing. I mean, for sure, it's an A-star, but I really expect a very, very high score. But we want to make sure the newer students do not repeat that, that experience. It was a tough experience. You got burned out, you got tired, and towards February, March, you were like not doing the same exact thing as you did in August, September.
I even fell sick, and I had to take 2 courses of antibiotics. So please take care of your health. You will regret it.
So taking breaks, and you don't really have to stay until 2 a.m. to submit Mr. Brennan's homework. You have 3 days to submit it. So I mean, yeah, you have to do it the first night. That's really good advice. So how did you come out of that burnout phase, Omniyat?
Yes, I forced myself at some point because I started panicking. The exam was next week. I had to do something. So I did. No, it wasn't as much past papers as I solved in the past, but I did manage to solve a couple of past papers, revise some topics that I really needed. But yeah.
Okay. So you forced yourself through it, but ideally for the newer students coming to the new course, ideally they would better take care of themselves and have a balanced life, a balanced week from the very
course.
Yeah. That's
amazing. It's
Especially
important to
if they
take
have many
breaks,
subjects.
to do the things you like, to enjoy your hobbies. Yes, IG is hard. You will need to put in the time, but give yourself time as well.
Yeah. And Matab, what did you want to say?
I mean, some of us, like for example, us, we had like 7 subjects all together in May, June. So some of us will feel that this is much huge stress. I'm one of them. I just always felt like I don't have the time to finish this, to finish that. I have this chemistry homework, I have this biology homework. So I think the better idea is to make a schedule. This is something I didn't do, and I feel I regretted it because I had too much homework, too much stress on me. But they need to know that in the end, all of this is gonna have like it's worth it, especially the chemistry homework. Everyone just complained in the beginning, the chemistry homework is long, especially the chapter 4 and everything. But in the end, it was worth it. The IGs was easy. Like in the last couple months when you start solving, it just seems super easy. Everything just flows smoothly and everything. So they should have a good schedule. They should have good breaks. They should have everything just under control, and they don't feel stressed, especially in the last month. So.
Yes. Now, you did mention hobbies. Omniyat, what hobbies do you have? What do you like to do?
I like to play games. I like to read books and comics. So these require a lot of time to do. Unfortunately, I stopped doing all of that, and I was really depressed at some point because I really wanted
Yeah,
to play, but
because
at the
it's not
same time,
hard.
I knew I had work, so I would sit down, I would force myself to work. That was
Wow.
an awful time.
Yeah, but now you have a break now, right? You have like at least a month, right?
After the school exams, yeah.
Oh, after school exams. Yeah, yeah. And Mete, what do you like to do? Like what hobbies do you have?
I love drawing. This is
Drawing.
something I really like to do, and I just feel that everybody should do it because not like drawing professionally and stuff, but I just like for the last couple months, I just like take a piece of paper, even if I was class, and I just start doodling around. It just relieves my stress. It just
Yeah.
feels so good just drawing and drawing around. I know it takes some time and it just doesn't seem very neat, but it just
Yeah.
relieves my stress
You
and
know
just have
what?
so much fun.
Sometimes I get a homework submission and there's like a drawing on the side and a drawing on the side. I mean, it was so much fun to see those submissions. But you guys still have 2 more years in the IGs and the A levels and right. So in those
Yeah.
2 years, I mean, remember what you now said. Give some time to yourself, take a break, do your hobbies. So don't really like push yourself all the way and then get burned out in February. Like have a little bit of more relaxed, still discipline, still doing stuff on time, still submitting on time. But it really doesn't have to be the first day. I mean, for me, you have 3 days to submit the homework. So just, take it easy and do those hobbies.
Relax.
Yeah, relax and do those hobbies. So um the next 2 years, I really expect you guys to implement what you just said. Because yes, I did notice like you were one of the hardest working people. And I love the advice when you said, Mateb, ask questions in the class, because you guys did ask questions and it was very, very helpful, not just for you, but it was helpful for everyone, because you would bring up something and I'm like, oh yeah, let's clarify this. And it makes everybody understand even better. So it really enriched the whole class for everybody. So that's really amazing. So um you have a break in the summer and then you're going to resume your A levels and stuff. So um tell me about, why was it so important for you to really succeed this year? And I totally expect you to succeed for sure in chemistry. And and you had 7 subjects, Matab. Omnia too, seven
Both of
subjects
us.
Yes.
for
Yeah.
real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's huge. So why is it so important to get A stars in all 7, hopefully all 7 subjects, for sure chemistry, but I don't know about others. Why is it so?
So I think that one of the things, because you worked hard. Myself, especially in chemistry, it's a subject I truly worked hard in. I put all my effort into homework and asking questions and everything. So I truly don't expect less than an A star because it's like really important to me. But at the same time, because when you work hard for something and then you get a good grade or like an amazing grade, it just makes you feel proud and just makes you feel that you can work more so you can achieve
That
more and more.
feeling.
So it's
Yeah,
really a nice feeling. And you
yeah,
just
that
need to
feeling. That's
improve.
true.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and just ask everybody to do it with you, and then all of you be at the end, you'll be successful together. That's a really amazing feeling.
Yes, be successful together. You guys are a group of friends, what, 5 girls, right? About 5 girls
Yeah,
and all of you are in my course, right? Like
in
you're
my
all together
course,
and
yeah.
you're studying together and you're complaining together and you're screaming together. It was so good. So Umniyat, what about you? Why do you think it's so important to be successful and to actually do it and be successful?
I plan to go into medicine, inshallah, and medicine require high grades, especially since I am aiming for a scholarship at some point. So I really need high grades for that to achieve my dream. I would like to go into the research part, especially. So this was the most important part that kept me motivated
Yes.
throughout the year, is to have my goal set in front of me and to
Yeah.
work for it.
did you decide on what exactly research, or you haven't decided yet?
I haven't decided yet. No,
Okay.
I would like
Yes,
to
you would figure it out.
see more. I would like to see more before I can decide.
Yes, of course. Yes. Once you get into school and you see all the options and everything that you can do. I mean, it was the same thing with me. I knew I loved research when I went to pharmacy school, but I didn't know exactly what research. And but what I found out when all I was thinking when I was an IGCSE student and towards the beginning of pharmacy school, I was only thinking that I'm going to be creating medications or doing some kind of drug creation. I'm going to create a new drug. And that's not it. In pharmacy, there's a whole lot of other options in pharmacy, like patient care, like counseling, like pharmacy services. Like what I did was tobacco cessation. So it's like you would not, you don't know what you don't know. Once you get into medical school, then you will figure out, oh, we have all these options that we can do and all these diseases that we can help. And then you can, but if you want to be a doctor, then I mean, if I'm going to see a doctor, then I really want this doctor to be the best of the best. And I want him or her to know what she's doing. So she better be a good student, a good medical student,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
of course.
totally, it's very important to be very competent with what you do.
Yes.
That's really amazing. So I have a couple of questions for you, and then I'm not gonna keep you for. I mean, I love you, girl, so much. I cannot.
We love you
Just
too,
keep us
Miss.
forever. Just keep us forever. It's all right. We're done with ideas. Just keep us. It's okay.
Oh.
We can stay forever. It's all
I know.
good.
I want to stay forever. Like, remember Friday's Zoom party? I really, really did not. If you noticed, I said that the party is gonna be 15 minutes, and it went on for 45 minutes. I did not want to close the Zoom. I mean, because I'm gonna miss you guys so much. But I have
I will
two
miss you too.
questions. Oh, but we'll be in touch towards the results. I mean, I know it's an A-star. I don't even need to ask, but what I'm very curious about is the score. I really want to know like what the score is because I have a feeling it's gonna be really, really high. Um, so my questions for you, my last question today is going to be advice, like your number one advice to newer students. But my question before this question is I want to ask you like what was the best things in the course? Like, what is it that really made this course so helpful for you so that you can succeed?
Other than the amazing lectures, I would say the homework helped me a lot, especially the worksheets. I hate memorizing. I cannot sit down and memorize a list of things. It just confuses me. So I found that by the end, if I'm done with the whole homework, by the end I would have memorized the important points of the lesson without actually actively memorizing them. So that
Just by
saved me
doing
a
the
lot of time.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? You're one of the first people who mentioned the worksheets. Nobody once mentioned the worksheets. I don't know why. The worksheets are, just to let viewers know, are like the most boring thing because it's like it's like an exercise sheet where I'll give you an example. Like if I want to teach you how to find the mass of one thing in an equation and you're given a mass of, I would have like 14 different equations and you would just do the same exact thing with different numbers. So it's like this boring, this grudge. And I'm very happy that Umniyat said it's the worksheet, like the worksheet and the homework, of course, which is classified past papers. By the time you're done with the homework, this lesson is good. It's over. I memorized it without actually sitting down and writing it 10 times to memorize it. I've already memorized it because I did the worksheets and the homework. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's really, really, I'm very happy that they were helpful. And Matab, what was like the best thing in the course?
Other than also the worksheets, because I think the most actually useful worksheets for me were 4.6 and 4.11. I had so much struggle with Avogadro's constant that I just need to ask questions about it every time. But actually, the worksheet helped me how to understand it. Other than that, I loved the pre-recorded videos. In the beginning, I just didn't understand why are they there or why they're useful. But after some students recommending it, I just used to like watch it every time. Whenever I want to start the homework, especially like I just open the pre-recorded videos, and then I'll solve the homework in less time than usual because I just remember everything in my head. Other
No,
than that, the summaries
yeah.
were amazing.
Oh, the
They
summaries.
just make you remember everything. You just like third half an hour or something. You just beat them with the whole course. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I just want to let viewers know the summaries. I mean, my whole notes is like almost 400 pages. I should edit this. But okay. So, but the summaries are 12 pages. One page for each chapter. So 12 chapters, 12 pages, that's it. So, like before your paper 4, you really don't have to think about how I was supposed to study 400 pages. You don't study 400 pages before your paper 4. You study 12 pages, that's it. But Matab, I mean, you mentioned a few things. 4.6, which is actually not a very long worksheet, but it was very, very time consuming.
Very
Sometimes, yeah,
useful.
it's short,
Yeah.
but it took time because it's Avogadro's constant and you multiply by this huge number and stuff. And then 4.11 was like 25 pages. I think it was a pretty long one, but you did it. That I'm very
Yeah.
proud that you actually did it and you finished it. And I think it was worth it because by the time you're done, you're like, oh, yep, I can calculate this in my head. Like it's easy. You master it. And
Yeah, it
these,
became much easier doing
yeah,
the
so
worksheets.
these
They
are
just help
both,
you do the whole questions.
yeah. And then the pre-recorded video, you know, a lot of students mentioned the pre-recorded video. I think I really underestimated their helpfulness. But a lot of people are now telling me, no, the pre-recorded videos are actually helpful and they listen to it either before the session or after the session or before doing the homework, or if they're later in the year and the school is giving them an exam on something, they would go back to these pre-recorded videos. And so that's really amazing. I want to ask you girls both a question. Do you think it's worth doing a pre-recorded videos for worksheets, certain worksheets, not the straightforward ones, but something like reactions in 8.1, acid-based reactions, something like Avogadro's? Like, do you think it's worth, I think Avogadro's, I recorded the video, but do you think it's worth recording videos for the worksheets?
I think 4.6 deserves a video.
4.6 deserves a
The
video.
catches concept.
Yeah. Omniyat, any other lessons do you think?
I do not really remember, but there were a couple of really difficult worksheets that will benefit by with a pre-recorded video, because I struggled to solve them and I really didn't know where to go. So I'd sit sometimes for long hours just trying to figure out a question.
You know what? I don't want anybody to sit for long hours figuring out a question. I mean, new students, if you are watching this, if you're struggling, text me, tell me, hey, I want a video for this, and I'm gonna record it. So, and Omniyat and Matab, if you ever remember like which lesson you struggled with, let me know, because I have the summer, like that's my opportunity to kind of record as many videos as possible. I mean, during the year I can, but it's usually the summer because I'm more available. I don't have my university commitments. So that's a really good point. You guys mentioned so many things. So the worksheets, by the time you finish the homework, you are really done with the lesson, really. I mean, you can just look at it later. The summaries, pre-recorded videos, and then the summaries I think I mean, I've got a lot of people tell me how helpful the summaries are just because they're just concise in just one page. It really helps, you know, see everything in one page. I mean, I even had one student say, before I even created the summary for chapter 12, I was done until the summary of chapter 11, and then it took me like maybe a month to create summary for chapter 12. And one student, I had a lot of students say, Miss, where's the summary for chapter 12? And I'm like, I'm still working on it. It's pretty hard. I mean, it's chapter 12. It's the longest one. And I had one student tell me in the class, Miss, I cannot imagine chapter 12 summarized in one page. I don't know how you're going to put all this stuff in one page. And it's about 60 pages in my notes. And he was like, his name was Ziad. He's like, I don't know how you're going to do this. And I'm like, I am going to. I didn't know how. I don't know how either. But I was determined. I was like, it's going to be in one page. I'm not going to make it a page and a half. It's going to be one page. And I did not really compromise the font. The font was still reasonable. I think I used a font of 12, which is very reasonable. And it was done. And I was like, oh, I'm so proud. Like, That's really, really helpful. Do you
There
guys
was
have
also the QR codes.
the
The
QR
QR
code?
Yeah,
codes. Yeah, I
Awesome.
love those.
You use them?
same.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially when I have a question, I just can't ask. It's like it's the 2 a.m. in the morning. I just can't go to the message. Just ask a question. So
Yeah,
I just
so
open the QR code and actually understand the question.
yeah, because sometimes it's like 9 a.m. your time, or it's in the morning in your time, but it's like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. my time. So you're like, well, I don't want to text Miss Nirvana at this time. I mean, so just scan the QR code, you get a video of me explaining the question. Was it detailed enough to where you're like, okay, I understand everything?
Yes.
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
was
That's
also the group. The students were amazing helpers. One thing I really liked about the course is how the group is opened, where we can actually ask questions and we can actually get a detailed answer from the students themselves. This is
yes.
something I really like, so I can just ask my questions whenever I want and I will just
That's
get the
very
answer.
true. You guys, Reem, Ritej, also Salma used to answer like in details. Like I sometimes wake up and I'm like, okay, let's see what questions are there. And I go in and I'm like, wow, I mean, it's already answered. Like the students answer, not us, not me, Mr. Ahmed. Sometimes Miss Habiba or Mr. Ahmed, they answer, but sometimes it's a student who answers. And it's a good, like it's correct. And it's like, and I usually just make sure to reply and have a thumbs up just so that everybody in the chat knows that actually Miss Nirvana approves the answer. Like it is correct and it's good. But that was amazing. And you guys were also very, very helpful answering. I actually got a comment from another student, a completely different student, and he said, I really love the chat on the WhatsApp because students would answer, and I especially want to thank Matab. He mentioned your name and he Matab answers my questions. And it's sometimes even like simple question of, okay, where do I find this? Or where do I find, can someone post the summary? It's like sometimes something simple and sometimes
Mhm.
let's question. So that's really, really good. Anything else, guys, you think um I should improve in the course to make it even better? I mean, you make it sound like a really, really good course. Thank you so much. How can it get better?
Hmm. I think just posting the notes we read every day in the class in the website itself. Because myself, I entered chapter 3, so it was a bit of a struggle to find the ones who are like past, and even the students like Shading who entered in chapter 7. So they don't have the past notes or the past like written notes and stuff. So it's better to put them in the website so whoever can join can just
Oh,
find them
the
really
written,
easily.
okay, okay. I thought you were talking about the regular notes. Okay, so you're talking about the class notes, the my handwritten notes that I
Yeah.
used in the class to actually go ahead and upload it in the website. Okay, that's a really
Yeah.
good idea. Wow, Matep, thank you. That's amazing. Umniyat, anything?
I don't think so. The only thing I struggled with was keeping up with the files. I would lose them sometimes, and this was really stressing. But otherwise, the course is amazing.
Oh, thank you
I
so much.
100% agree. It's
Oh,
And
just like
having
a
the
very
open
amazing
chat on
course.
WhatsApp made it feel more like a
Yeah.
real class rather than an online.
yes,
And
like,
So I
also opening
love that
cameras in
part. Yes.
class.
and
Like
what,
it just
Matep?
made me opening cameras in class. It made me feel
Oh,
like I
yes,
actually see you in front of you. So I truly
absolutely.
advise students to do it. It's really fun. Just
Yes,
opening camera in
yes. I
class.
just want to let viewers know Umniyat and Matab always had their cameras on, always throughout the year. And so it was, I always felt like this is helpful for me. I memorized you guys so well. I don't only know your name and how you're doing in the homework, I actually know your faces. So that was really, really, really helpful. It makes it closer to a person and in person, because I taught in person and I know the difference between in person and online. And I remember my very, very old students who came to my house and did the in-person class with me because it was in person. But because you guys had the camera open all the time, I felt like I know my students very well, not just well, not just through the homework, because students who did not open the homework, I basically knew them from the homework. Okay, this student has this style in the homework. This is his handwriting. this is his performance, but I don't know his face. So it was really, really helpful to, that's a really good advice for, so it's helpful for the teacher, but Matab, you're saying this is helpful for the student.
Yeah, I feel it's more fun class. No, it's just always my parents or my family just find me laughing in your class, and I think that's a really amazing thing because when you
They
have
don't
a
know
fun
why,
class,
because you
it
have the
makes it.
headphones.
Yeah, I have my
Yeah.
headphones on, but I just always tell them how your class, even my friends, grade 9, grade 8, I just talk to them about how the chemistry class is really fun, how you have fun in class. Just makes the class more funny. You just feel like, oh my god, today is the class, and then you're excited. I'm always excited for our class, so I really think
Wow.
they should open the
Wow.
camera.
Yeah. And most of the time, all students have their mics muted, but I can tell like they're nodding or they're laughing or they're like falling off the chair because they're laughing so hard. Like, yes, it was so much fun to have the cameras open. That's really amazing. So my last question for you guys is, if you want to say one thing for the new students, like one piece of advice or maybe two, what would it be?
Hmm.
Make study groups to
Study
stay
groups.
motivated. Yes, we
Yes,
used to
that's
make
good.
study groups. We'd sit from the morning till night together. We'd help each other solve homework. We'll
On
explain
Zoom?
points we didn't
Okay.
understand. Yes,
Yeah, on
yes,
Zoom. Okay,
yes.
wow.
Zoom or Google Classroom.
Yeah,
We would
but
sit
online.
together.
Yeah.
Yes, online.
Yeah.
We would sit together. We'd solve homework. We'd motivate one another. If we got bored, we'll sit and chat for a bit. We'll keep ourselves accountable. We'd force each other to solve homework and study.
That is
So that
such a
was,
good advice, study groups. And I bet it was you guys with Reem and your friends. You had a study
yes,
group online and you sat together and you just studied. That's very, and you were just quiet and solving and then sometimes talk.
yes,
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's really, that's a really good advice. Okay, so listeners, study groups, okay? Make sure your friends are your support system. So the support system, the friends in the study groups. So Mete, anything else?
I think that one thing I myself struggles with is not asking questions in the beginning of the class. Like sometimes when I have a question in the middle, I just don't send it. I feel like it's not really important, so I just don't need to send it. But it's important. It just makes class even better. It helps you understand the question, and some people might have this question, so you just understand without asking it. So
Yeah,
just don't feel shy and just do your best and just don't
don't
overwait
feel shy.
because
And you both use the chat feature pretty consistently, like either to answer my questions because I ask a lot during the class, or to ask a question. So you use it pretty consistently throughout the class, and sometimes you would open the mic also if you feel like it's a bit hard to express myself on chat, so you just open the mic. So that's a really good advice, and I mean, hey, listeners, everyone on YouTube, please listen to Matab. Do not be shy. Ask the question. If you are too shy to open the mic, ask the question on the chat. I see the question and I answer it. I don't ignore the questions. Um, but that's a really, really good advice, because it's one of the biggest struggles I see during my first month, is that students are still shy and still not sure, and still worried that that they look, or their question looks stupid. But I mean, no question is stupid. I mean, it's chemistry, so it's
we're
you
here to learn. There is no shame.
exactly. We are here to learn. There is no shame. You're learning. I mean, you're learning. You are learners. You're IGCSE students. So you are here to ask questions. That's your job, actually, is to ask questions. So that's amazing. Girls, that was so good. Thank you so much. Say hi to your study group friends, and just tell them, hey, that was a great job. Keep the study group throughout your A levels, and form new study groups in college, and hopefully it's going to be in person in college, since I mean,
Yes.
college, I mean, maybe it's going to be easier to be in person, but you guys went through the COVID era, so but thank you so much. I will miss you, okay?
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
I
we'll
you.
will
miss
miss
you
you too,
too.
miss.
Thank you. All right.
It was a pleasure having you.
It was a pleasure teaching you, Matab. I mean, thank you, girls, for allowing me to teach you. I mean, it was such a pleasure. It was really such a pleasure. So,
Thank
Matab,
you.
what do you want to do in the future?
I wanna go to med school too, but
Med
I just didn't
school.
think of it.
Okay, that's amazing. So, thank you so much, Dr. Matab Tariq and Dr. Omniyat Abdulaziz. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
doctor.
Thank you, miss.